middle, like
Middle, okay. Solid liquid.
jelly, or like solid in the form of solid.
Yeah, okay, you're very close. Radha, you're also raising your hand, so go ahead. After that, Sujal,
So,
you can.
so yeah, as Adi said, like as we saw in the crystallization video, that it was a liquid, but it was in a solid form. So that like that only, our body has liquid, meaning the water, but it's not in a liquid form because our body consists of energy, and that's why they are distributed over our body, and that may be the reason.
Absolutely, Radha. You both of you are very close. Sujal, I would love for you to share, and after that, I'll discuss with you. Okay.
Yes, Vaya. I think the water is inside of our body. Therefore, we can't see it. It is in blood and our lungs, and other our solid part. It is outside of our body. There we can't see it.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. So, from what I am hearing is that what you all are saying, ki human body mein there is water, but it's not directly in the liquid form. It's in indirect form. Matlab, pani hai, but it's bound to something. It's not directly liquid. It's in different forms. That's what I'm hearing from you all. Okay. So basically, why I gave this example is like for us to correlate for what I'm going to be saying now. Okay. So see, human body में 72% water है. That doesn't mean it is liquid state. Okay, liquid. So what happens is कि whenever let's say lungs में या फिर blood. So blood is liquid. So we will not take that example. But if you think about lungs, okay, lungs. So if you have ever seen a photo of lungs, कभी गूगल पे जाके देख लो, they are solid. मतलब ऐसे you can even touch your lung, not directly, but if you open up your body and you can. But where is the water in that? So what happens is, folks, when muscle fibers are created, जो protein होता है, you might have heard about this protein. Bodybuilding में बहुत use होता है protein. Okay. So what is protein is nothing but the nitrogen का जो molecule है, the nitrogen, they are bounded with water. Okay. And when this binding happens, you get a solid structure. तो तुम्हारे बॉडी में वाटर है, but it is bounded, it is mixed to it, it is attached to something else, और एक कंपाउंड का अटैच करके एक चीज बने. Okay. And that compound is no longer liquid, it is solid. All right. So even though that compound has water in it, it is solid. Why? Is because this is the property of crystallization. So crystal matlab nothing but it is a very solid structure like this, like let's say ice cube, or ice cube, sorry, ice cube be actually crystal, sugar cube bolte hai. So let's say if you look at sugar cube, I'll show you a photo. Just a minute, we stop this. Anyway, so if you look at this water है ना, अगर किसी भी और चीज को लाके combine करेगा, then it might happen कि that thing becomes solid. So water of crystallization मतलब कुछ नहीं है. There is very fancy word. Is nothing but, just a minute, let me go to the next slide. Yeah, okay. So water of crystallization, people, is nothing but क्या होता है कि let's say we have a powder. Okay, we have a powder, and sometimes what happens is like if you add water to it, you get a solid structure. Solid मिलता है, and that solid is nothing but crystal होता है, ऐसे crystal. And मैं crystal बोल रहा हूँ. How many of you know what a crystal is? कभी सुना है क्या? Have you ever heard this word? If not, then I'll explain it to you. Yeah. Prathamesh raising your hand. Go ahead.
A crystal is a glassy structure and which is translucent, and it's like glass. And
Absolutely, Prathamesh. Right on point. Like you explained it, and in the chat box as well, I can see Neeraj and Aditya. Neeraj is saying it's type of a diamond thing. Yeah. So it looks like a diamond. It looks like a diamond. And Adi is also saying crystal sounds like diamonds. Yeah. They are not diamonds, but उसका जो shape और structure है दिखने में, how does it look? That is nothing but a diamond. For those who don't understand, I have a wonderful picture of copper sulfate over here in the next slide. If you look at this photo over here. This is what a crystal looks like. This is not a powder. It is a solid structure. Yeah, Radha, and Radha gave a wonderful example right now. It's when we say something is crystal clear, बोलते हैं ना कि I have gotten this concept, it is crystal clear to me. That is nothing but transparent, ऐसे कड़क दिखता है. So this is nothing but, if you look over here, this is a crystal of copper sulfate. Okay, ऐसे crystal है. But क्या होता है, folks, in real world, you don't like, you get copper sulfate like this, but this is not pure copper sulfate. Okay, this is not pure copper sulfate. So water of crystallization matlab kya? If you look at the meaning, water, just a minute, I'm just going to write it because yeah, it's very tedious. Water of crystallization. Oh, idhar R hai. Oh, sorry, this one. Yeah. So water of crystallization is nothing but, oh, this one is spelling mistake. This one. Yeah. Color change karo. All right, folks. Sorry for the delay and the confusion, but yeah, water of crystallization matlab nothing but, I have a powder. Okay, so Pond's ka powder dekha hoga. You might have seen Pond's powder, or you might be using it also. Pond's, या फिर I don't know, Johnson & Johnson baby powder मिलता है, talcum powder मुंह पे लगाते हैं for makeup and everything. So yeah, so if you have a compound like that, if you have a powder like Pond's का या फिर you know talcum powder जो से मुंह पे लगाते हैं for beauty and everything, if you have that and if you add water in it, मतलब ऐसा powder हुआ तो, I'm not talking about specifically that beauty वाला powder, ऐसा powder हुआ, you add water to it, what you're gonna get is nothing but this, something looking like this. So water of crystallization is nothing but, it is the water which is used to make crystals. Water used to make crystals. That's it. Okay, so I'm gonna write it here. Pratham, you're raising a hand. You wanna share something?
No, I took it down.
Acha, okay, no problem. So people, water of crystallization is nothing but water used to make crystals. Okay. So कैसे करते हैं वो पिछले इस slide में there is a wonderful photo for it. Is nothing but, okay. So what happens is, if you have a powder like this is copper sulfate, anhydrous copper sulfate. What does it mean? Okay, so you have anhydrous copper sulfate. Copper sulfate is the compound, people, and anhydrous means something which does not have water. So hydra, everybody knows what hydra means. Hydra or hydro, whatever, sorry, hydro. Hydro is a Latin word for water. जैसे aqua and aqua, वैसा hydro होता है. और anhydrous, मतलब which doesn't have water. So anhydro means something which doesn't have water. So anhydrous means something which absolutely doesn't have water. मतलब no water वाला copper sulfate. Okay, no water copper sulfate. It looks like this as a white powder. If you add water to this, H2O, you get something known as, you'll get something which will look like this. It is a beautiful blue powder, and it has crystals in it. Okay, so that's why it is known as crystallization. It is known as water of crystallization. It is nothing but water used to make crystal. मेरे को अगर crystal बनाना है तो मैं water add कर दूंगा. Similarly, if I want to remove the water, तो मैं क्या करता हूँ, मैं heat कर देता हूँ. I just heat ये copper sulfate को मैं सिर्फ heat कर देता हूँ और obviously पानी evaporate हो जाएगा. What I get is nothing but powder. This is copper sulfate with no water. Okay, and yeah, so now I'm going to be showing you a video जिससे ये crystal clear हो जाएगा कि what I'm talking about. Okay, so उसका formula is something like this. SO4. Oh God, just a minute. Not 5H2O. Yeah. And you heat it. तो heat करने से क्या होता है, ये जो इधर का water है ना, वो जाएगा and you only get CuSO4. So folks, don't worry if nothing is, you can't understand anything. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a video. बहुत छोटा है, 2 minutes का, 2 minutes भी नहीं, like 1 minute का. It's going to be amazing. So just a minute, hold on a sec. I'm very, today I'm a mess today. So yeah, I woke up very late. So I don't suggest that. Sunday tha isliye I woke up very late. Yeah. So folks, in the chat box, there's a link for a YouTube video. Please go and watch that.
The crystals became a coarse dry powder, a colorless coarse dry powder. And when it cooled down, that uncle added water again, and it again got its color, and it was again crystallized.
Absolutely. Wonderful. Like, yeah, that's what happened. I saw Radha and Kiran, you both are raising your hands, so you can go off one after each other, okay? So Radha, you can go first now, and after that, Kiran, you can go.
But yes, same thing happens.
Okay, no problem. Kiran, if you want to go ahead, you can. Yeah, I can't hear you. All right.
That uncle was talking about the crystallization of water, and adding to both of my friends, they already told everything. So I don't understand the last topic. Means they again put the water in it, and then they get its own color blue. How can is that?
Oh yeah, so I'll get to that. Okay. Also, Neeraj in the comment box has said that the man was doing an experiment with copper sulfate. He hit it and turned into white. He heated it, okay, and turned it into white powder. So people, what the basic thing is, ki water of crystallization is nothing but there are certain salts. Okay, so let me just start my whiteboard. I mean, yeah. So thing is, there are certain salt. Salt, pata hai na? We learned about salts. So how do you get salts? You add acids and bases. So acid and base add करने के बाद क्या होता है? Salt and water मिलता है. So you have salts, and certain salts are crystalline in structure. Okay, crystal होता है वो crystal. Their structure is a crystal. Now why is it a crystal? Is because it has water in it. Water molecule होता है इसमें. Okay. So what that man did was, okay, next time folks, if you're describing something, say man or woman or something like that. Uncle, auntie मत बोलना. So yeah, so crystal है, water है, okay. So there are certain salts वो ऐसे crystal मस्त कड़क diamond जैसे दिखते हैं, and they have water in it. Now, if I want to remove the water, what will I do? Okay, what is the best way to remove water from something? धूप में डाल दो, right? Give it heat, give it sunlight or heat, whatever. So I heat this crystal. इधर heat दूंगा मैं. Okay, heat it. Heat. So what happens is that crystal loses water. Okay, it loses water, and as the water is gone, the crystalline structure breaks down. टूट जाता है वो. And what we get is nothing but a powder. ऐसे मस्त white powder मिल जाता है. Talcum powder. It's like not talcum, but the structure is like the one you use it to apply to your face or makeup killer and everything. Okay, so it's like this. Now, if I want the crystalline structure again, what is the one thing that I should add in it? Just think about it. अभी कि अभी मेरे पास powder है, मुझे फिर से crystal चाहिए. What can I do?
Water.
Exactly. See, so exactly process उल्टा कर दो. Powder में पानी डाल दो. Add water to the powder. So what is going to happen is that again, white powder mein you add water, what you get is nothing but the crystal. So it is like this, you get the crystal. So basically water of crystallization is nothing but the water in a compound which creates crystals, which make crystals. So water hai isliye wo crystal hai, water nahi isliye crystal nahi hai. Okay, so that is the basic thing. This is nothing but water of crystallization. So if you understood this, give me a yes in the chat box. I'm also going to have a check. Okay, Jatin is raising a hand. Jatin, go ahead. Yeah, Jatin, go ahead. If you have a question.
भैया
Yeah, bolo.
भैया what amount of water should we add in the powder, or it is limited or unlimited?
Good question. So it's a limited amount of water, but depending on the chemical formula of that powder, utna pani add karna. For example, you have copper sulfate, right? So if you look at a textbook over here, all right, either be the it's actually a pretty good thing. So I'll explain that to you. So what happens is that you have CuSO4, okay, which is copper sulfate A. So how is it written is that CuSO4 dot 5H2O. When you write this, it means that crystal. Now, just a minute. Let me use text. Okay. So the crystal of copper sulfate, okay, has 5 water molecules. Okay. So this is how you represent a crystal. CuSO4 dot 5H2O. So ऐसे क्यों लिखा है? Is because we know that water is only there to make it a crystal. It's not playing any other part. सिर्फ crystal बनने के लिए वो water है. And CuSO4 is the original compound. Okay. So original compound का formula is CuSO4. If it has water, it is written as CuSO4 dot H2O. It is said and it is pronounced as CuSO4 dot H2O. CuSO4 dot 5H2O. Abhi 5 क्यों? Why is the number 5? Is because if you remember valency, atomic number and everything like that, you only need 5 water molecules. Only 5 water molecules can form ionic bonds with copper sulfate. इसकी वजह से. There is one more example. If you look over here on the screen, is that just a minute. Yeah. Slowly. Oh God. Where did it go? Yeah. There is something known as ferrous sulfate also. Ferrous मतलब iron. तो iron sulfate का भी crystal बनता है मस्त. It is also blue in color. And the same principle applies to it. So basically, this is how you write it. If I ask you, folks, give me the chemical formula of crystal of copper sulfate. मेरे को crystal चाहिए. So you will write CuSO4 dot 5H2. But if I say, folks, I want the formula for only copper sulfate, then you will write only
CuSO4.
हाँ, पानी निकाल दो उधर से. We need no water, okay? So ऐसा है. So this is nothing but water of crystallization, and it could be a little hard for you to get right now. I'm not going to be denying that, but yeah, if you have understood what it is, give me a yes. If you have not, कोई भी किधर भी question है, come off mute, पूछ लो. Get your doubts clear right now because बाद में you won't remember, okay? Yeah. So let's say Radha, Kiran, Prathamesh, you are giving me a yes. Sakshi is giving me a thumbs up. Rest of your Neeraj, Suhas, Sujal, I'm an eye on you. Also Aditya, if you're there, Sid, Jatin. All right, great. I can see a lot of thumbs up over here. So thank you so much for. But we are at the last part of our lecture, but I'm not going to end it. I'm going to be asking you certain questions. And the rule of this check is I'm going to be telling you what the question is. What you have to do is, abhi in the chat box, I have written for host only. So मुझे ही answer आने वाले हैं. Each and every one of you has to answer. Nobody is going to be coming off mute and going to answer. Okay, you have to type the answer in the chat box and send it to me. Okay, that's the only thing you have to do. Nobody discusses it. I want everybody's answer. Okay, because I'm keeping a check. All right, Adi, you can't hear anything. So okay, Pratham, I'm going to request you to send Adi a private message as to what we're going to be doing today. Not today, right now. And if Sakshi, if you can come off mute and tell us what we will be doing for the next 5 minutes, can you just come off mute? Like, what are the instructions to answer the questions, which I'm going to be telling you now.
So Bhaiya will be giving question and we have to answer to only Bhaiya, not speaking loudly. So
And where do you have to send it? How do you send the answer to me?
In chat box.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Sakshi. In the chat box, okay? Great. Also, rather you're asking me a question, I'm going to answer that later on, not right now, okay? After this question and answer session, we will do that. So I'm going to be sharing my screen right now. दिखा रहा है क्या? Okay. Just I will go ahead. Yeah. Many slides over. Okay, so this is actually, people, this is how it looks like. Chemical formula uska copper sulfate looks like this. So this is Cu plus 2 is the copper, S is the sulfate. This is SO4. So wait a minute. Okay, before I go ahead, I'm just going to quickly tell you this is very interesting. So this is SO4. Why is it SO4? Is because इधर 4 oxygen molecule है 1 2 3 4 एक sulfate एक sulfur molecule है. So SO4, it is connected to Cu. Cu is nothing but copper, and these are 1 2 3 4 5 molecules of water. So that is why it is Cu plus SO4 plus इधर नीचे H2O. That's why it is written as CuSO4 not 5H2. Ferrous sulfate का भी इधर है, if you look over here, how it is connected. So I'll teach you actually how to read diagrams like these. Your life will be very easier after that. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So now coming back to the point is, so I'm going to be asking you check. So this is our check for today. First question is, the water molecules in ionic compounds which form a crystalline structure are called as. Okay. So quickly in the chat box, type in the answers, and I really want you to know. First question का answer दो. Water molecules in ionic compound which form a crystalline structure are called as. Okay, I'm seeing Mrs. answer. Oh, Radha, great answer, Radha. Rest of you all, Kiran, Sandesh, what is that Sandesh? CS, okay. Pratham is saying hydrate, okay. Adi, great answer. Rest of you all, I'm keeping a watch. That's why I told you to give me the answers privately. I'm going to wait for 10 more seconds, and if not, I'm going to be calling out people now. So, yeah, the usual suspects. All right. So, Suhas, Sujal, Sid, Sakshi, I want your answers also. I'm going to wait for 10 more seconds. So, quickly in the chat box. All right. So I've gotten what 10 answers right now, so that's okay. Radha, can you come off mute and tell everybody what you have written and why is that answer? Okay. If you can share
Yeah.
your
Yes, I have written water of crystallization because to form a crystalline compound we need water, so that's why water of crystallization I have wrote.
Absolutely, Radha. Kudos to you. So it's nothing but हमारा chapter का ही नाम. Okay. Water of crystallization. So the water molecules and ionic compounds form a crystalline structure are all obviously going to be called as water of crystallization. और क्या कहेंगे? Question में ही answer है. All right. Second question: what happens when a crystal of copper sulfate is heated? All right. Go in the chat box और मुझे answer भेजो. You have what 1 minute? I'll wait. Okay. So what happens when copper sulfate is heated? All right. Radha's answer is already in. Wonderful, Radha. Kiran also already in answer. Great. Folks, I'm going to be waiting for you. Waiting for what 10 more people. So yeah, quickly. And answer in your own words, okay? I don't want a scientific definition. I want your own words. I just want to know if you understood it. All right. Sandesh has given Sid, Prathamesh, Neeraj, Suhas. Oh, great answers, people. I can see all answers are great. This is just amazing. Okay. So all of you have answered. You are correct. So, so what I'm going to be doing is, I'm going to be asking one person who has given me the most correct answer. Baki sabka bhi correct hai, you are not wrong. But there are many other ways too. So Sujal, if you can come off mute, tell us your answer and just explain it, what your thought was behind that. So that will be great. Sujal, if you're there with us, go ahead, man.
Yes, Bhaiya. When we hit crystal of copper, it turns white.
And why does it turn white, Sujal? You have given me the answer. Think about it. Come on. All right. Radha, I'm going to be giving someone else a chance. Okay. So your answer is correct. Okay?
Bhaiya, it
हाँ, बोलो.
water get it's water get over. Therefore,
Yeah. So what happens is that copper sulfate is heated, water molecules evaporate, निकल जाते हैं. Because of that, crystalline structure जो है, it breaks down, and what we get is white powder. Okay. So this is what happens. That's the answer to question number 2. Pratham, you're raising your hand. If you want to share anything more, you can. Okay. Third and the last question for today. After that, folks, you're free to enjoy your Sunday. Is nothing but what will happen if the white powder of anhydrous ferrous sulfate is given water? Abhi copper ne, abhi ferrous sulfate hai. But what will happen if I give it water? So quickly in the chat box, go and answer chahiye. All right, Suhas, Kimaya, and okay, Suhas, both of them are already answered. Oh, this is amazing. Rest of you, I'm going to wait for 30 more seconds, and after that, I'm going to be closing this. So Radha is also answered. Thank you, Radha. Okay, go ahead, people. Sandesh has also given me an answer. Thank you, Sandesh. Kiran, yep. Nice answer, Kiran. Prathamesh, also nice answer. Wonderful answer, Prathamesh. Rest of y'all, what are you doing, man? I'm going to wait for 10 seconds. Let's see who has not answered. Oh, Neeraj, that is also a great answer. Thank you for that. People who are not answering, let's see who's not answering. Sakshi, Siddiqui, Karan, please answer in the chat box, man. Especially you, Karan, man. Seriously, you were the topper last time, so I expect answers from you. So yeah. Great. People are going to wait for 10 more seconds. After that, किसी को तो बुलाऊंगा मैं to answer. So let's see who will it be? Oh, Kimay, I like your answer. Pratham, I'm going to give somebody else a chance. Okay. Like I love your enthusiasm, but सबको बोलना चाहिए तो yeah. Kimay, if you can come off mute and tell us what your answer is, it'll be wonderful.
Yes, Bhaiya. It will again change to crystal form.
And why will it change, Kimay? Can you think about it like? Because we add water, right? So we add water, anhydrous का hydrous बन जाएगा. And the property is that water will create the crystal. So we'll get crystalline structure. All right, folks. So that's it for today. And the rest of you all who have answered it, all answers are correct. Like for the second and the third question, all answers are correct. Whoever has answered, so seriously, kudos to you. थोड़ा खुद को ताली दो, friends को भी थोड़ा appreciate करो. Okay, emoji button use करो. Okay. And yeah, for today, that's it for today, folks.